very glad to have an opportunity to share these insights with you today, and special thanks to the organizers for putting together this amazing event and providing us with a platform to showcase a transformative potential of blockchain in real estate. Now, what do normal person think when it comes to real estate? It's probably this, or even this. For a real estate professional, things get a little bit more complicated. You have to deal with a lot of legal issues like inheritance, custody, parents' rights, arbitration, litigation, and it's just the beginning. Countries have huge infrastructure of different actors and components like title company, insurance company, agent, broker, and all these concepts and all these things, they don't exist for no reason. Real estate is a high value asset, so this is why it is so heavily regulated, and that raises complexities for us, for blockchain developers and enthusiasts. And yeah, here is what I think when it comes to real estate. Now, question is, with the help of blockchain and smart contracts, can we make real estate transaction and the industry itself more simple, straightforward, and thus sustainable? My name is Peter. I'm head of IT consulting at ScienceSoft, and today you'll know what investment opportunities smart contracts unlock in real estate, which digital platforms could transform real estate sales, how governments embrace blockchain in real estate, and how all these innovations would drive our sustainable real estate future. Before we start, just a few words about the company, and I'm not pitching anything to you today. We don't have blockchain product, we don't have blockchain white label. We're a software development company, custom software development company, and IT consulting company. We build solutions tailored to your particular use cases and jurisdictions where you want to launch it. We are headquartered out of Texas, United States, with 750 employees. We are 35 years on the market, in IT market, I mean, not the blockchain market, of course. Full-scale PMO, which ensures that every project is meticulously managed and delivered to the highest standards of quality. Among our customers, you may find industry leaders from different sectors, IBM, Walmart, eBay, Nestle, just to name a few. Speaking of blockchain use cases we support, it is, well, anything you can imagine: financial management, fractional ownership, supply chain management, asset management. You name it, we've done it. Now, switch back to real estate. Actually, the idea of using blockchain and smart contracts in real estate is not something new or revolutionary. The first use case, and the idea was first introduced back in 2016 by Chamber of Digital Commerce, and that was the idea was actually to replace the traditional title deed, which you can see on the left, with a smart contract, which you can see on the right. And that was 1 year after Ethereum blockchain was launched and smart contract became a reality all of a sudden. And that was one of the other 11 use cases they proposed at the time, alongside with mortgage deeds enabled by smart contracts. With the time, more and more proposals have arrived, such as, well, obviously, tokenization of real estate assets. That's the most well-known use case these days. Or property ownership and title management. With blockchain, you can have a decentralized and immutable ledger of property data and title information. And I'm going to share a few examples in just a few minutes. Marketplace for real estate transaction to simplify the sales process. There are proposals and even implementation of timeshare NFT in real estate. Property valuation and appraisal could be embraced with blockchain, and with blockchain you can have an auditable record of property history and provenance, including past owners, renovations, and so on, so you can't hide your juicy secrets anymore. All is on blockchain, tamper-proof. The first use case I want to talk about is obviously real estate tokenization. As I said, that's the most well-known these days. First of all, real estate is illiquid and inefficient. No one doubts that. And here is why. It may take from weeks to months to find a buyer sometimes. Also, well, real estate prices are as unpredictable as the weather. Transaction takes some time to close, from negotiating terms to finalizing paperwork. The process can easily drag on for months. And yeah, of course, there is just a lot of stakeholders. Even a simple real estate transaction often requires, well, a small army of professionals, from appraisers, well, inspectors, agent, broker, and each one of them adds a layer of complexity to an already intricate process. And tokenization is supposed to help to overcome all these hurdles and make investment in real estate more accessible and affordable. The first use case is, of course, fractionalized real estate. And for those of you who have not heard of this yet, the approach uses fungible tokens so that you can sell a fraction, a real life example of fungible asset is stocks. One stock is always an equivalent to another, and you as an owner can sell a share of your property. That could be 10%, that could be 1%, that could be even a fraction of a percent. Or you can go even further. You can separately tokenize property rights from the cash flow, from rights to cash flows that this property generates, so that, or what is the cash flow? Of course, that's the monthly rental income, so that you have an NFT which represents rights to cash flow, and you have smart contract which redirects cash flow from the property to the NFT owner. And you as an owner can sell the rights over specific timelines. Baskets of real estate can be collectively tokenized. Picture this: a diversified portfolio of real estate assets of different risk levels. Like you as an investor can now build a customized portfolio of real estate assets, as I said, with different risk levels. You can adjust your risk exposure to match your risk tolerance and your investment goals. It's all now real, so that you have high-risk properties, mid-risk properties, and low-risk properties together in one basket, such as, well, like an example of like an index fund. This is what you're going to do. This is what you would do if you were, if you buy just regular stocks. And now it's possible with tokenized real estate. So just to give you an example how an app for tokenization might look like, just a few screenshots so you can see how that will look from an end user perspective. So you as an investor would search from a vast array of assets available on a marketplace like that. You would go to see the property details, which includes the number of tokens issued, what's the percentage of a property represented by tokens, and how many tokens are available. Then you would go to view property details, like its general description and so on. But same what you would find on, on the typical real estate website, and also its financial performance, because, well, that's important for you as an investor. And you can go absolutely crazy with an app like that. It could act like a portfolio, like a wallet, where you set your, let's say, annual financial income goal, and you track your assets performance against this goal. For a property owner, the UI will look the following way. You would go through a standard KYC procedure, so we can retrieve your property details from, well, supposedly, it could be a land registry on the blockchain, or that could use a conventional database. It does not matter. The thing is that a service like that ideally is connected to a land registry, so that we retrieve the properties that you own. You select a property, then you select a token standard, choose a number of tokens you want to issue, select a blockchain, and here you go. Of course, that's an oversimplified example, and if you want to get into more details of that, just connect with us at booth number 60. So we can share some more technical details about that. And yeah, of course, among such technical challenges as data authentication and verification and wallet recovery, there is still a lot of regulatory and legal hurdles associated with that, which are yet to be resolved, unfortunately. Well, my presentation would not be complete if I didn't share the blockchain title management examples. The idea to convert land registries to blockchain was already implemented in practice by governments in such countries like Georgia, UAE, Sweden, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. And these are just known instances, because in case if government doesn't want to advertise the use of blockchain, and they sometimes do that for security reason, you would never know it, because all of them use, obviously, permission systems, so you'd never know that they use blockchain if they don't advertise that, of course. The first project was Georgian blockchain land registry, and the scope of it covered sale of land titles, registration of new titles, mortgages, rentals, and notary services. So they've developed a system module on top of the land registry database, which receives cryptographic hashes from land registry database and then puts those hashes in the private permissioned ledger. So they take the hash of every transaction in the land registry database and then periodically publish those hashes to Bitcoin. And I think you know that the approach is called anchoring, and that's actually the way how Bitcoin stores its transactions. So what it does, well, it makes the data immutable. So in case if you manipulate with the hash of every transaction, well, the root hash will change. The initiative has brought positive effects and increased trust and transparency, and they also have plans to introduce blockchain for other sectors of the government. And so far, as much as 1.5 million land titles have been registered on the blockchain in Georgia. Sweden in 2017 had Swedish land registry called Lantmäteriet. They introduced blockchain for their sale transaction. So they've developed an app for all participating stakeholders, agents, buyers, banks, seller, and they connected an app with a distributed ledger and made sure that all documents that get attached to that app get hashed on that ledger. And the process was designed to mimic a typical sale transaction. And yeah, this is how a UI looked like of an app. And unfortunately, there was no intention to digitize property rights, which was, well, a major disappointment among blockchain enthusiasts at the time. And just to show you how they improved the process, they claim that they've innovated 19 of 34 steps in a typical sale transaction, for most of which, as they say, they used blockchain. Like, for example, previously, an agent needed to contact Lantmäteriet in order to list a property, in order to take a property for sale, just to make sure that the property has no, let's say, financial interest registered against. And in the new solution, an agent doesn't simply need this step because all the information is available on the app, which is connected to the blockchain. Or previously, when the purchase agreement gets signed between buyer and a seller, the purchase agreement needed to be sent to the buyer's bank over mail, just regular mail, and then bank, upon approval, needed to send this document back to the buyer again, which is obviously an efficient process from a time perspective. And again, they simply eliminated this step because at the moment when purchase agreement gets signed on an app, bank can immediately see that. We've all heard of Dubai blockchain land registry. I'm not going to dive too much into details of it. They use Hyperledger Fabric, and the platform is obviously permissioned. And as the result, they eliminated the possibility for double selling of real estate, eliminated the need for storing physical archive of land records, which is important from sustainability perspective, of course, provided real-time visibility of status of a property, and a sale deed reduced administrative costs by 30% and increased land investments by 25%. Of course, all of you should know the REST application, which is supposedly connected to land registry blockchain and maybe other blockchains that Dubai has. And that provides such convenient services as selling, leasing, or submission of rental dispute cases. Now let's look at how a real estate marketplace could look like if you supposedly connect such a platform with the blockchain land registry. So you have a land registry, and if the government has land registry, there is a chance that they may use blockchains for other governmental services, like environmental agencies might have their blockchains, or utility providers might have blockchain too. So in order to for a sale transaction, you will need such information like ownership data or outstanding utility bills. You simply need to make sure that there is no financial interest registered against the property or any kind of easements or restrictions. For a sale transaction, you may need data from other authorities or other agencies like banks, insurance companies, or inspection companies, and this data is not necessarily stored on blockchains. That could be stored in conventional databases. And the beauty of that, well, you obviously feed this data to smart contracts through set of oracles. And the beauty of that is, the beauty of smart contract actually, is that if the party, if a stakeholder, if a buyer doesn't want to, let's say, share his bank account details or loan agreement details with broker or with the registrant, they don't need to do that. Because if you have smart contract, the data is automatically shared with the smart contract, and smart contract does all necessary verification of this data in order to clear the transaction, so that you don't have to expose the sensitive data to third parties. And yeah, speaking of smart contracts, that could be escrow agreement, purchase agreement, or inspection contingencies. And the marketplace solution, the process will look the following way. You're going to list the property, provide property details, and the data of the property can be enriched from the government land registry. And at the same time, the marketplace verifies whether you are a rightful owner of that property or whether the property has any restrictions. Then the potential buyers are going to search for a property. Interested buyers would make an offer, which could be a smart contract, and the smart contract makes sure that that all agreement terms and conditions are transparent, clear, and agreed upon by all parties involved. A step of due diligence and financing, closing a sale, again a smart contract, and transfer of ownership is happening on the government blockchain registry. Now, finally, let's talk about sustainability. I don't think I have to prove that smart contracts will reduce the need in physical paperwork. There's simply less manipulations needed. Well, in terms of economic sustainability, it's reducing the need for intermediaries and lowering transaction costs, making real estate investments more accessible and affordable for everyone. And of course, smart contracts can help to preserve cultural heritage property and architectural landmarks. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, just scan a QR code and send your inquiry to us. You can always connect with us at booth number 60. We'll be glad to discuss your initiatives. Thank you for your attention.